Hi all at FIA, this is student Nick Blackwell, number 150149094. I'm here with Roger, who is playing our client Tristan today. We're going through an intermediate strength circuit comprised of 7 exercises, a warm-up and a cool-down. Thank you for coming.
No worries.
So to start off today's session, we'll begin with some light aerobic activity, move on to some dynamic movement, and a little bit more high-intensity movement just to finish off our warm-up. Essentially what we're doing is taking our body from our current state, which is relaxed and well rested, to a bit more of an elevated state prior to our main set. So if you want to find yourself a piece of aerobic equipment, we'll get started. Need the ski or the bike? Yep.
The skiers.
Yep, right here. Perfect. And so we'll just get started on that. Don't work yourself too hard. It is just the warm-up, just going through the motions at this point in time. That's it. Give us full range. That's it. Good. Nice work. And so, for the purpose of this video, we are going to cut this aerobic activity short. Under normal circumstances, the clients would do 5 minutes of light aerobic activity. For the sake of you guys viewing, we're not going to make you view 5 minutes of this. And for the sake of our session, we're going to keep it a little bit shorter. So, Tristan, if you wouldn't mind coming off, we'll get you moving on to the dynamic movement portion of the session. So, just sitting up the other end of the gym here. So, dynamic movement of this session will be comprised of some large range of motion movements where we'll stretch the muscles or elongate them a little bit and get some good blood flow in there, as well as release any kind of tension that's in there. So if you want to follow what I do, I'll lead off.
Yep.
I'll show you what we want to do, and then you'll do essentially similar sets of reps.
Yep.
So starting things off is going to be a lunge with a twist, and it's going to look something like this, either with your hands over your chest, rotating across, or on your hips, rotating across. And so we're going to step forward, and you're going to twist either with your hands here over the lead leg, or with your hands on your waist over the lead leg, and alternate, and alternate. You should get between 3 and 4 on one pass. I'm going to get you to come up and back.
Yep.
Good. That's it. Take your time. Have that balance and control. Good. And back the other way. Good. Nice work. We've got a total of 10. Good to see. So now we're moving on to some walking knee tucks. And so we worked on a little bit of hip mobility there. We're going to take this a little bit further with our hip knee tucks, but also stretch out our glutes and hands should they need it. So you can either do this every second step, or you can do it every step. It's up to you. But essentially what I want to see is when you take a step forward, you're going to drive the knee up towards your chest, catch it, and pull it that little extra way, nice and easy, and hold. And hold, and hold. It should be for about a second, and it's all about stretching the rear of your leg, your glute and ham. That's it. It's alright. If you alternate legs, I'll just get you to go back the other way. It's not a problem. That's it, and on your way back, same thing, that's it. Nice work. Good. Alright, before we get into any higher intensity stuff, we're going to work a little bit of our upper body with a bit of stretching and then a little bit of coordination work. To start things off, just doing some flighty claps. So with our arms out at 90 degrees, we're going to draw them back as far as we can, and then just let them come forward. And draw it back. The emphasis here is on stretching the pec. So when you draw it back, that's where we want you to focus. Good. That's 5, 6, 7, one, 10. Good. So now we're looking at a little bit of coordination. We're doing arm circles, pretty simple. First 10 are going to be forward, second 10 are going to be back, and then 2 lots of 10 counter-rotational, alternating which direction they go. So, just give you a little bit of space there, but we'll start things off going forward. When you're ready, get that nice range of motion, a nice fluid movement. And backwards. And counter-rotational, pick a direction. That's it. So give you your best shot. Maybe try the other way, we'll swap directions.
You got that one.
So alright, we'll move on from here, Tristan. We're just going to do a little bit more arm work, which is just bringing the arm across the body and just giving it a nice little squeeze for 5 seconds and release. And back up again for 5 more. And release. The other arm. And release. 1 more. Nice. Lovely. So now we're going to start what would be considered our main set. The first thing it's going to be is our barbell squats. So just get this out of your way, and all I want you to do is get positioned under the bar. Lovely. So we're going to rack at the backward position. Nice, arms up at about just over shoulder width apart. That's it, lovely. And so I have Tristan here in the Smith machine because it has an auto-locking mechanism. It also means that lifting what would be his 75-80%, I can't necessarily spot it safely, so this is a great mechanism to help me do so. Actually Tristan, I might just demonstrate before you do your full set. So what I'm looking for is when you rack the bar, just have your feet shoulder width apart and your arms equally distant apart. And when you descend, what I want to see is a nice amount of ankle flexion, a nice controlled upper body, and back to return. And so we're going to do 10 of these, controlled as we possibly can. On that note, I want you to stare at something about 1.5 meters ahead of you on the ground for a nice, truly ideal posture. When you're ready. When you're ready to descend. Good. Nice. Good. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Good. Good work, Tristan. Lovely. So that was the extent of our squats today. We'll transition on to the next exercise, which is a bench row. The bench row, I'll just set the bench out for you. Being in such a compact gym, it will take a little while to set things up potentially. And so, bar under the bench, you're going to have you lie on it. Essentially, your chin will just be over the edge of the bench like so. I don't care too much what you do with your legs, whether they are tucked up or they're lying out behind you. But it should be so that when you pull the bar on the bench, you are pulling towards your waist. I don't want you pulling up here and you will hit something if you do. I want you pulling towards your waist. And so when you come up, your arms and elbows end feet up, fully flexed behind you.
Okay.
So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Depending on your height, you may need to set up a little bit different. You might be a bit further along. But again, we still want to direct the bar towards our abdomen, not our chest. Yep. Shuffle it back a little bit, Tristan. You'll hit the bar if you pull towards your waist there. Keep going back. Back, 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 back. There you go. When you're ready, pull towards your waist. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good work, Tristan. Lovely. Did that feel good?
Yep.
Lovely. Good. Now we're training almost the opposite movement. We've gone from a pulling motion to a pushing motion. So now we're into some push-ups. And so we'll do that on the floor just over there. So I'll show you just quickly. You can either do it from your knees or your toes. But essentially what I want to see is that your hands are directly under your shoulders. So when you come up on your toes, it's almost a perfectly straight line up and down. There's no lean out here. You're not under your body. You're directly below your shoulders. So when you sit up, it's a nice, even movement. So as I was saying, you could either do it from your toes or your knees, like so. But the main thing is that your back remains nice and level the entire time. You could do it facing the mirror if you like, or whichever direction on the floor, as long as you have the right amount of space.
How many?
I want you to do 8 to 10. Good, that's it. Coming down, nice. 2, 3, a little lower. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good work, Tristan. Well done. So from here, just going to fold this bench up again. Make most of all the space we can get. And we're moving on to a deadlift. So we'll bring the bar out here and give ourselves as much space as possible. But what I want to see from you today, Tristan, is that you set up nice and evenly, like so. Feet either side of the middle of the bar. Hands are going to be outside of your feet, but your feet aren't going to really be on shoulder width apart. So when you descend down, you're going to have a nice amount of ankle flexion, a nice amount of knee and hip flexion, and the spine is going to stay neutral the entire time. I'm going to focus pretty much at the joint of the wall and the floor and keep looking at that. So when I pull up, everything moves equally. We're not getting what would be hip hinging or straightening of the legs prematurely. Everything moves as one.
Yep.
So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Stage is yours.
Cool.
Good. I want your weight on your heels a little bit more, Tristan. They're coming off the ground. That's a bit better. you wouldn't mind stopping there, Tristan, put the bar down. I think it's beneficial for you to set up a little bit wider. Your feet are narrow together but duck foot.
Oh yeah.
If you set your feet up a little bit wider but parallel, you'll be a little bit more sturdier. You'll also have a greater range of motion. That's it. Nice and even, wider apart. Yeah, and now drop your bottom down. Alright, and come on up. That'll do. Good work. That's your 10 total. From here, with Tristan, we would have normally gone into a pull-up, but for Roger's sake, we're going to go into a lat pull just on account of the weight. So we'll set him up right here behind us, and I'll show you what I'm looking for. So Roger, with the lat pull here, what we're going to do is we're going to set up nice and evenly underneath the bar. We don't want to be directly under it, we want to be slightly back from it. We want to have our feet flat on the floor and our legs making 90-degree angles both in the knee joint and just shy of 90 at the hip joint, as we're going to have a little bit of rearward incline. That's going to help the bar pass to our chest without smacking us in the face. So whatever angle you pick, I want you to also stay at it, and it's going to look something like this. So that entire time it was nice and still. I don't want to see you leaning back to get it at all. I don't want any hunched over or any pulling. Our arms are going to track nice and evenly. When you're ready, go ahead. Good. 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, nice, 6, 7, 8, good, keep it even, 10, keep that back nice and proud, that's it, 11, what am I talking about? Lovely, up you come, nice work. Moving on from there, we're going to go into an overhead press. It's almost the opposite movement of what we just did. And so it's going to be kind of like a combination of, I guess, a seated barbell bench press. Oh. It'll look something like this. On account of your shoulder, I'm not going to get you to press like this, but more so like this, in front of you a touch more. So it'll look something like this. I'm going to be set up, have it pressed from my chest, and then up in front of my face. Everything should be nice and equal and nice and controlled. I don't want you leaning back too far and pressing over, and I don't want you leaning too forward. Your nice neutral posture and back up. Here, you take a seat and I'll load it up. Yep, when you are ready. Good. Good. Nice. Ready to go. 2, 1. Good work. Nice work. We're into the final exercise of the night, of the main set.
Yep. We're
into some mountain climbers. So it's a little bit like a prone hold, except we're going to be bringing our knees, tucking them up underneath our body. And so it's going to look something like this. So from a prone hold position, you can either do it from your feet or your knees. From your knees it's a little bit harder and a little bit slower. But you bring it up, return. Bring it up, return. From your feet, It's a little bit easier if you can hold it. Bang. And it's going to be a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Good. And when you're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good work. That's it, Roger. You got the 2-2 going at the start there. Very well done. That is the conclusion of our main set. We're now going into a cool down.
Yep.
And so that'll be much like the warm up in the sense that we'll do first off some light aerobic activity on the ski egg, move into some dynamic movement, but then we'll finish off with some static stretching. So if you wouldn't mind. And again, for the purposes of these videos, we're about to cut Tristan or Roger's time on the ski erg short and move on to the dynamic movement because we do not need to see 5 minutes of just ski erging. Alright, for the remainder of the session, we'll be doing some lunges, a little bit of yoga. We'll take our time with this one. There are 4 repetitions, but we'll go nice and slowly through them together. And then we'll go into some static stretching. So to start off, we'll send you up and back with some lunges, and then I'll walk you through the yoga. So standard lunges, not standing. Just follow me once I'm done. But we're just going to walk through, no twisting, so it's just nice and continuous movement. You don't stop. It's just continuous movement, and we'll get you to come up and back. That's it. Watch your shoulder on the bar there. Lovely. And again, back down. Lovely. So I'm going to give you a full demonstration of what it looks like first, and then we'll walk through it together. We're going to start off standing, and we're just going to reach towards the ground into a downward dog, and just hold there for a second, and then extend out into a prone hold, and bring our leg underneath us. We're then going to stand up and rotate over into a kneeling arches pose, and then back to standing. So, if you're ready to go through it with me.
Yep.
Standing into downward dog, reach out into prone, that's it, bring one leg forward, and twist over, standing archer. Lovely, we repeat that over the opposite leg. So, I'll give you as much space as I can, and down into downward dog, out into prone, drive the other leg forward, and archer. Lovely.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Get it up.
Right.
That way.
We've got 2 more to do.
Yep.
And down into downward dog. Reach out. Drive the foot forward. And rotate over. Nice. Last one. And down. And just keep slowly inching forward, drive the foot forward, and rotate over. Lovely. That concludes our dynamic movement. We're now moving into some static stretches. Yep. First and most basic, I'll give you this wall space here actually, is a calf stretch. So with either 1 or 2 hands, you're just going to put your body weight up against the wall, like so, and have 1 foot step backwards. You're now going to try and put all your body weight through that foot. You can either have your legs straight or bent, depends on which part of the muscle you want to stretch. I prefer bent, but as long as your weight is going through that back foot, you will stretch your calf.
Yep.
So we'll do that hold for 30 seconds. And go. And swap. Alright, if you look my way, we're going to progress on to the next stretch, the groin stretch. So we'll do a standing version of this one. You can do a sitting, but we'll stay on our feet for this one. Essentially what you're going to do is stand with your feet wide apart, so not as wide as you can possibly go, but a comfortable distance. So if you want to spread your legs out, we're then going to transfer our weight to one foot. And you should feel the stretch on the underside of your leg. We're just going to hold 30 seconds. Now we're going to switch. Just transfer your weight to the other side. Lovely. Now I'm going to get you to take a seat. We're going to go through some hamstring and calf stretching. We'll start off with the hamstrings. So with both our legs straight, we're going to tuck one foot to our knee. And we're going to reach both our hands forward for our foot furthest away. And swap. Lovely. Staying seated, we're just going to take the leg that is tucked against our knee and push it around to the back now. Rotate it around to the back. And while it's there, we're going to put all our weight into the back foot, and that should be stretching out our calf, our quad, I should say. Alright, and swapping. Last stretch while we're sitting down is our glutes. Both our feet out, we're going to bring one knee up and cross it over. The opposite elbow is going to go over our knee and push that knee towards our center of mass. Should feel it in the outside and lower part of your glute. And switch. And back onto your feet. We've got two final stretches to do.
Yep.
First one is going to be part of our rear deltoid. So we're going to cross one arm across our body like we did earlier and hold this time when we push it to our chest. 30 seconds. And switch. Lovely. Alright, we're going to do this as a partner stretch, Roger. What I want you to do is raise your arm up to 90 degrees. The other arm, please. And I want you to lock it with mine. And now, at this point here, I want you to lean into it. That's it. And feel the stretch in your chest. I'm going to hold you in position. Good. Good, and swap. Alright, there we go, that's it, it's better. Lean into it. And that concludes our session, Roger. Or Tristan. Thank you for that,
No worries.
and I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.